The lie about hard work nobody wants to admit. Here's something nobody in the self-improvement world wants to say out loud. Hard work is not enough. I know. You've been told the opposite your entire life. Work harder, stay later, grind longer, and if things aren't working, you're just not working hard enough. That story is so deeply embedded in American culture that questioning it almost feels like a personal attack, like you're making excuses, like you're weak. But what if the story is wrong? I'm not here to tell you to stop working hard. That's not the point. The point is this: most people are working incredibly hard, in the wrong direction. And nobody talks about that part. Because talking about it would mean admitting that effort alone isn't the answer. And that's uncomfortable. That's threatening. That breaks the whole narrative we've been sold since childhood. Think about the hardest working person you know. Are they the most successful? Are they the happiest? Are they where they want to be? Maybe, but probably not. And that gap between how hard they work and where they actually are, that's where the lie lives. Here's what nobody wants to admit. Hard work without direction is just exhaustion with good intentions. You can work 16 hours a day building something that doesn't serve you. You can push through every wall, sacrifice every weekend, ignore every warning sign, and arrive years later at a destination you never actually wanted. Burned out, resentful, and completely confused about how working so hard led to feeling so lost. This is the trap. And it's not talked about because admitting it means confronting something far more uncomfortable than laziness. It means asking, what am I actually working toward, and why? The self-improvement industry has quietly convinced an entire generation that the quality of your effort is a moral statement. That hard work equals good character. That rest equals weakness. That anyone who isn't grinding is someone who doesn't care enough. And so we stopped asking whether the work was right. We just asked whether we were doing enough of it. That's the lie. Not that hard work matters. It does. But that hard work alone is the answer. It isn't. It never was. The people who actually change their lives, not just grind through them, they figured out something different. They learned that direction matters more than speed. That working on the right thing at 70% effort beats working on the wrong thing at 110%. That clarity is a form of discipline. That choosing what not to do is just as important as committing to what you will. They stopped performing effort, and they started engineering outcomes. That shift is small in words, it's enormous in practice. So what does that actually look like? It starts with one honest question that most people avoid for years. Is what I'm working hard at actually what I want? Not what your parents wanted, not what looks impressive on paper, not what you committed to at 22 before you knew who you were, what you actually want, right now, with the life you have, for the person you're becoming. Most people can't answer that clearly, and because they can't, they default to the only tool they have: more effort, more hours, more sacrifice, as if intensity could replace intention. It can't. It never will. I want to be careful here, because this is not permission to stop. This is not an excuse to quit the moment things get hard. Real growth is still uncomfortable. Real progress still requires showing up when you'd rather not. That part of the story is true. But showing up matters only when you're showing up for the right thing. Work hard? Yes. But work hard on something that actually matters to you. Something aligned with who you are. Something that, even on the worst days, still feels like yours. Because that kind of work doesn't drain you the same way. It still costs something, but it pays you back in a currency that exhaustion can't touch: meaning. The lie about hard work is not that it doesn't matter. The lie is that it's enough on its own. That it will figure everything else out. That if you just push harder, direction will eventually reveal itself. It won't. Direction is a choice you make before the work begins. And until you make it, clearly, honestly, without apology, all the hard work in the world is just a very long road to the wrong place. Stop working harder. Start working clearer, that's where everything actually changes.